she also, I see. Why I say every first and third Friday, y'all? I'm on a little bit of sleep. Every first and third Saturday at the African Marketplace, you can find her. She not only sells life insurance, but she's also a financial consultant.
Right on.
Shout out to one of our red level sponsors, because there were levels to it. There was a okay. So there's a builder level, and a builder level basically is a that's the base level you could come in at, and that's a builder's level, and that gets you a space and also advertisement and so forth, and you get you get prominent space. And then there's the red level, the green level, and the black level. And I want to say Felicia was a green level sponsor, but she came in. Her name is Felicia Armelin. She's a tax, and I'm going to put her links in the comments too. Right. She's giving good deals for her tax service. She's not only my personal tax person, but she's also our business tax person. She is the truth. Very professional, very meticulous in her work. And I just love her so much because she makes the build easier. She's very intuitive. It's one thing too when you go to other people for services and stuff like that, they don't really know you. You know, they're not FUBU. But it's just something about, working with people. I love it. Right, it's something about working with people that know you. Right. And they know you because they are you. You guys got some similar tendencies. And so she uses her intuitivity. She also she does website hosting, and she's very intuitive with that. So shout out, big ups to Felicia Armelin. I also want to give a big shout out to Shona McDaniels and the Sojourner Truth Museum. They provided art activities for the children during Black Friday. We're so grateful for that. She also hosted the Pain and Sip, her along with Sean Rayford. I don't want to mess up his name. That's his name. Now, y'all, he can blow. Sorry. How does that man play like? That man can play. He was really good. Let me see. Also, Ebony Nails Care. Ebony Nail Salon at 2251 Florin Road. I don't know her suite number, but as soon as you come to the front of the building, she's over by the end, right next to Nikki Love Story, who also sells lingerie. And Suggested Eyewear, who is also one of the co-conveners of the Black Coalition. She owns an optical shop, Black Blueprints. Who does apparel and food and everything you could think of, and Glorious Accessories, which is myself, Dana Maisha. So anyway, thank you guys for letting me talk about this, because Black Friday is more than just that day, of course, right? Because if we think about it just in historical facts, it's probably nothing really to celebrate. I know. But we really good at turning negatives into a positive. That's what we do. That's how we survive. And so what I will say is that Black Friday has everything to do with making sure that our businesses get supported, making sure we create platforms and spaces so that consumers can meet those businesses and those businesses can meet those consumers. And it's a movement. It's more than just a day. It's a movement. So we're going to be having other activities. Everybody really liked the mixers, and that was really good. So one thing Shawana has said, I know you know Shawana. Shawana has said about the mixer. She said, you know what? That was a good mixer because it was FUBU. It was for us, by us. It wasn't a lot of. It wasn't your traditional mixer, okay? And so we shot pool. Of course, people were just relaxing. People were able to expound on how they felt, and they were able to express the urgency that we are in right now with regard to making sure that we support each other, and not only making sure that people support us. we have to make sure as business owners that we providing a good services. That's a two-way thing. Right. So I can't tell you, oh, Ro, I want you to come and support me, but I don't never have nothing that you need. I don't never have nothing that you want. And so as business owners, we also have to be open to suggestion. We have to be open to constructive criticism, and we have to adjust accordingly. So the Black Friday movement stretches beyond just that day. It's just, and it's not even about making sure that we could compete with our competitors, because we're not trying to compete with Amazon or Walmart. That's they're not our measuring stick. But we just want to make sure we level up.
Right on. Right on.
So thank you guys.
No. I think that's great. I think the beauty of Black Friday, as they call it, is great to know the historical reference. I think there's nothing wrong with, because we do live in this earth, on this planet, with a whole bunch of other people, but I also think it's also great to acknowledge that we are not celebrating the traditional Black Friday where black folks were sold cheaply in the time of enslavement. So I think it's okay to do Black Friday the way that you all did it, because it's about self-defense. I think we honor those people who were on the menu for Black Friday back in the day by self-sufficiency and taking care of ourselves, because that's what they ultimately was fighting for, was their own human dignity. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think the fact that we acknowledge that and say, hey, you know, this is why we must take care of each other. This is why we must have accountability with each other. Yeah. This is why we must be responsible for each other. Yeah. This is why we must sacrifice and shop with ourselves. Right. And that to me was a total act of that. And so, no, I'm glad to see you all doing that. I think it shows that black folks, that we can support each other just like all the other groups, since we like to claim that we're not, that we're the same as everybody else, which we know we are not. No. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I'm really not sorry. That's the truth. I didn't make this up. But I think we're capable, history shows us that we're capable of working together and doing work together and shopping with each other and even checking each other. Because I find when we check each other, that's when people get all mad and shit and, you know, want to, you know, do personal post about you on their pages and, you know, with your own damn words. And somebody, an elder told me about the little incident. He said, I find it when you check black folks, that's when they really get upset, because no one likes to see their own reflection, you know, in terms of being able to say, hey, we may disagree. And, you know, if I'm in your house and you cooking greens a certain way and you use dish detergent to clean it and I decide not to eat it, that's cool. But I don't get to tell you that you can't cook the way you want to cook it. Right. And I think sometimes that's that part about respect. And so it makes you understand that sometimes we only know if Black Lives Matter the way we treat each other. Right. That's when we know if it matters. And I'm not really concerned about other groups thinking we matter, because the truth be told, to a lot of us, our life did not matter to them. That's why we were sold all over this planet at one point. And everybody participated, even other black folks. Right. So, yay on Black Friday.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I love it. Big ups to Barry, because I know he probably was sweating a bunch of bullets right along with you.
Let me tell you, it was big ups to Barry and big ups to Aisha.
That was Sister Aisha.
Yeah, Sister Aisha. We make up, three of us make up the Black
Trinity
Friday Coalition, right? And y'all, it was a lot of work. But speaking of that, when you said about people don't like to be checked, there's growth in that, because what you can do is when you are being checked, you know, stop and analyze it. Take the part that's true and adjust accordingly. When you don't do that, you stunt your growth.
Right on.
That's my humble opinion.
Dear brother agreed. Michael said checking is good. It helps us become better people. Having thin skin is killing us. You ain't never lied. But we don't have that thin skin with other people, though. We take all their abuse. We just be like, we just got to love you more. We just got to love you more while they killing you. But we got to love you more.
Oh, you know
we'll
what?
come for each other, though.
I got another...
no, check it in, girl. You're going to be checking it throughout the day.
Yeah, y'all forgive me, because this was a lot.
I love it.
We got another sponsor that I want to make sure, and I'm sure, if I forgot somebody, y'all know, charge that to my head and not my heart. You know I love you. Right on. Jermaine Morris is the truth. If you ever need a voiceover for a commercial, to market your product, whatever, contact Jermaine Morris. He is the truth. He, the voice that you heard running through 97.5 on our commercial was his, and he did it so graciously. So thank you so much.
Right on. What about you, Dr. Strong? What you got going on?
Well, let's see. This week we launched at a radio. And
I saw that link, but I was doing something else. But I'm gonna get you.
Yes, and so Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 a.m. will be the slot that I will be holding on that radio show. So I'm really excited about that, and just pushing it forward. We're working on book number 6, and so working with some people to get the cover done and how we're going to work that out, and just really going deep into the story and where it started, the lessons and transformation and all that great stuff. So doing a lot of great work with that. So I'm really excited.
How can we get access to the
radio? I can share the link. Share
the link. Because I tell people I listen to a lot of podcasts and lives and all over the country. Because I really want to know what black people are thinking, what we're doing. How do we deal with the madness, whether if you're in Philly or if you're in Sacramento or if you're in Mississippi. Black folks, we are pretty much dealing with some of the same exact stuff. And that's why I was telling y'all to watch that Faces of Africa, because even in Faces of Africa, anytime black folks are trying to get to liberation or to be whole and complete or to govern oneself, we always have people in the midst who don't want us to do that, because they would lose their position in funding, and so I think that's important for all of us to do radio shows, to do podcasts. Like, I would love to live in a world where I turn on the TV and all I seen was me. I personally want to live like that. Now, for some other people, I'm not really into that. Some other people, I'm really, really not into that. I don't know. It looks great on mine.
Yeah, it looks great on mine too. Can y'all see it?
Yeah. And Brother Mike said, congratulations. Brother Kofi, sign in again.
Yeah.
And sometimes it be, because somehow my computer does that on my computer. It's not that right there. So
thank you, Kalita. Thank you, Kalita Jordan. She said we did an amazing job. She was at the mixer.
Right on.
Thank you.
They was electrified and everything. So with that being said, my question for y'all, this is an honest God truth. I know we have a lot of things around police brutality and things like that. Do you think it's possible, because historically we've always kind of had, before there was the police, there was the patty rollers during slavery. Do you think it's possible for black folks to police themselves? Do you think it's possible for us to police ourselves? Do you think it's possible? Because here's the thing, in a society, you do have to have law and order. Somebody has to be the law. So as much as we know we have like some cops that are crooked and probably should not be policing nobody, including their damn self, we know that in our society, when things go wrong, people call what? They call the police.
Right.
They don't call the next door neighbor.
Right.
They don't call, people that's, in the street or whatever. They call the police because that's who you call for help. Is it possible for black people to police themselves? That is my question to the floor.
That's a deep one.
I know it got kind of quiet, but
right.
I find that that's a part of, let me get my coffee on.
I would say yes. We do have the capacity. We do have the ability to do it. The question is going to be, will we do it? And will we also keep in place those things that, those words that we don't always like to hear, and that's accountability, right? And making sure that things are done fairly. And I know that sounds like really roundabout, saying yes, we do have the ability to do it, but then this, and this. So it's going to be really important for us to figure this accountability thing out.
What you think? So I think we could do anything. I mean, we escaped slavery, so shit.
Right.
But can we really do it? Like, for instance, I think, and this is no disrespect, I think holding the police accountable when they do stuff wrong, I totally get that. And we always have people doing that, by the way. It's not a new phenomenon. However, I feel like there was a time when we did have people like the Black Panthers. We did have, I'm from the East Coast, so we had the Guardian Angels. We did have people who attempted to police the neighborhoods in which we live, so we didn't really have to rely on forces that didn't like us. But unfortunately, because we don't have accountability and responsibility, and we don't sacrifice for each other, we know that we have to have some police. We got to be able to have a system that you call when things are wrong. But are we capable of providing it to ourselves?
Well, I think that we are capable of doing it. And like my Queen sister said, are we willing to do it? Because it is going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take a lot of us laying our ego down. Because like you said before, we had the Black Panthers, we had the Guardian Angels, we had the Nation of Islam. And the thing about it is those principles and those organizations are still, they're not gone. They're still there. So it's going to take us not set tripping. And then it's also going to take us, I don't care what religion you are. To me, I think that we need to quit that. I don't care what religion you are. We need to quit that. Because right now, we need to be policing ourselves. We have ourselves in such a vulnerable position. We're calling the same people that are have no regard for our lives to protect us. That's not intelligent. That doesn't make sense. But at the same time, it's going to cause us to level up in a way that I don't think that we have had. Well, we had to before, especially when we were segregated. But I think that we need to get back to that mindset. We're gonna have to start holding each other accountable, because it's like, how you gonna be able to trust a local drug dealer to police you, or the local pimp to make sure your daughters are safe? We have to level up. We're going to have to change the game. We're going to have to get ourselves together. We're going to have to clean up our own house, so to speak.
Right.
And so, and simultaneously, because we can't even say once we do that, but at the same time, we have to start building the infrastructure that's needed in order to get that done. And so, there are people, I could think of people right now we could call and start having a meeting about how we need to build infrastructure. Kanoke from Israel Family Farm has some great ideas. Mariana Sousa is the truth as far as disaster and emergency preparedness.
Own your own shit? No, that's never a book.
Right.
Right. What is it called?
Own your own shit.
Own your own shit. And so there's people
Right.
out there with ideas and with philosophies. And then we also have a blueprint that was laid before us. We can't forget, the ancestors who treaded those paths. So we have a blueprint. Maybe we need to have a book club based on the blueprints that the ancestors left us, and then also those critical thinkers that's really about that life. We all need to get together and figure out what's the first thing we need to do.
Yeah, I think we got to move on it now, though, because I just think that we're capable of doing it, but I also think there's some things we have to, like, trust is big with Black folks. And so that this thing about, even in the crack era, a lot of trust was lost, because that young man that you used to watch growing up became a drug dealer and was selling his community. And though people started talking about poverty and all this other stuff, Black folks, for the most part, a lot of us have always been poor, but we always had compassion and empathy, and we loved each other. We mattered to each other, even if we didn't matter to the powers that be.
Right.
And it seemed like we lost that somehow. And so, I just kind of wonder if it's possible for us to really police each other, and if so, how will we do it? What I have found is that back in the day when people went off to college, they were a part of something, that they were coming back to help. Some of the best teachers I ever had, Ms. Winnie Bender, Ms. Mae Thompson, Ms. Hester Snyder. These were women who were Southerner women. They were race women. When they went off to school, was to come back and help their community. So they didn't try to come back and tell us what we weren't doing right, or words we couldn't say, or what was, white people think we're like this. And they didn't care about that. What they cared about was how they seen each other, how they loved on each other. We have some comments in the room.
Yeah.
I just think it's time for us now to not complain about the police, but to become the police.
Right. We can't.
That's just me. Yeah. I'm saying you can do both. I agree with you. You can do both. Somebody got to be out there complaining. That's great. But I think the hardest part is when you become them, when you say, I am going to police my own community. I'm going to have accountability and matter of life in my own community. That's very different.
I agree with you, sis. You know what? I'm going to say this.
We're going to get these comments. I'm sorry, y'all get because I'm...
Okay.
Y'all some comments?
Okay.
So, go ahead. Somebody start as far back as they can. I'm sorry, y'all get these comments.
Well,
okay, go ahead.
Here.
So Khadijah said, Kofi, maybe your computer, okay, you got to say velocity. She said, yes, we can. Yes, we can, police. So go with Sister
Colette. Good morning, my beautiful sisters.
Khalida. She's saying, yes, we can police ourselves. We have done it in the past. Right on, sis. Coach said he's trying to fix the computer. I'm skipping that one. Now, Ia Colette. Good morning, my beautiful sisters. You see that?
Right. Always look forward to seeing you in our own special church each Sunday as we sit with our sisters.
You ain't never lied,
okay,
sis.
yes.
You ain't never lied.
And then also, too,
Brother
we have
Michael?
Brother Michael. Can you relate the ongoing violence can be contributing to the demise of the internal black family? The violence displayed within the family can also force